There we
everybody.
go.
Welcome back to the 30 Minutes of Fame podcast. Today I've got another cool guest, a dad of 10. Yeah, I said 10. Holy smokes. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, black belt, former Microsoft executive, now got his CEO of his own company called CARTOGRAFIQ. Did a 350 pound bench. We're going to talk about all of this good stuff. And a daily gamer like myself. I love it. It's my escape, man. We'll dive into all this stuff. So welcome to my little show here.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's good to see you outside of Twitter, and it's great to be here. Appreciate it.
So dad of 10. Oh my goodness. What's the
That
how many girls, how many boys, what are the ages and what the
So
hell
the
is that
boys are
like?
catching up. We're at six girls and four boys. They stretch from 8 weeks old, so littlest guy is brand new, up to about almost 18 years old. So they're all pretty tight, which is, you know, logistically complex, but also great. Like it's wonderful.
That's unreal, man. I have a daughter who's about to turn 12. I can't remember. I can't imagine four of her. Like that just scares me to think about.
You know what I tell everybody is like however many kids you have is however many kids you can handle, right? When you had no kids and you're about to have one kid, you're like, oh my gosh, like who has one kid? It's gonna be impossible. Then you have a kid, and you're like, oh, one kid's fine. And if you have one, and like you're about to have a second, you're like, how am I gonna do two? Like nobody's like, am I gonna have enough love in the house? Am I gonna have enough time? What about the finances? Then you have two, and it's fine. Once you get to four, it's just like another kid. You know what I mean? It's like you have all the playbooks in place. Like you're gonna love them. They're gonna be fine. You don't need all of the stuff that you buy with the first one. The only problem when you get above four is like really it's like logistics. It's like a regular like SUV doesn't cut it. You need like a suburban. And then when you get to like eight, you're like, I guess I got to go buy a van, And it's like it's just getting people from place to place is the thing that is the most complex. It's all the other stuff is easy.
Now you tweeted one time. I mean, that's where we met on the evil Twitter X, whatever you want to call it,
Yep.
where I met so many cool people and about 20% of my guests. You said lifting weights is the gateway drug to success. That's one of the coolest things I've ever read.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think it's true, especially. Uh, I mean, I've been an athlete for my whole life. I was a tennis player in high school. I played rugby in college. I taught jiu-jitsu. I taught Krav Maga. But like and I always did well in my career. But I realized like when I started lifting weights seriously, when I came out of the rugby period, and then I did what a lot of guys did, which is like I kind of let myself go in like my mid 20s when I really should have been working hard because you get a job and you're going out and you're busy and you stop. I was still eating like I was a rugby player, but I wasn't exercising as a rugby player, and like I really put on a ton of weight. So I got up, I was up to about 265 pounds. And I'm about 6'1". So and it was like doughy. I was like a doughy 265. And then, I went through my first daughter was born and a little bit of a health scare with my heart. And I realized like, I got to get my ass in gear. Right. And, what I realized through that process of like I lost a ton of weight. I went from 265 down to like 190. My blood work cleared up, my resting heart rate went down. Um, and then what I realized, it's just like the great thing about fitness, the great thing about weightlifting is kind of twofold. Like one, it's the only thing that nobody can do for you. You can have all the money in the world. You can have all the resources. You either pick the weights up or you don't,
Hmm.
right? You can't outsource it at all. Even if you're trying to lose weight and you use something like an Ozempic or a Retta or something like that to help get you there, that's fine. But like if you want to get strong, I have no problem with those things. It's not. I don't think it's a shortcut. It's just a tool. It's like if you want to get strong, man, you got to do it yourself. So like one, it teaches like the power of discipline and the power of self reliance. And then on the other hand, it proves to you that you can do hard stuff. And when you put those two things together, if you put the discipline together and you put the ability to overcome adversity together, you are naturally going to start applying that in other aspects of your life, whether it's your faith, whether it's your family, whether it's career. Um, and I've seen it time and time, even my own son, right? Like I love my son to death, but he was a typical 15-year-old boy, right? Didn't work that hard, really smart kid, so he kind of coast through school. I was trying to get him in the gym. He didn't want to go because it seemed hard. And then, he saw me, he didn't want to do the kettlebell stuff, the calisthenic stuff that I was doing. He like wanted to lift conventionally. So like I was willing to go back and lift conventionally. And then like over the summer, I finally got him to start going to the gym. Like he came with me for a week or two, and he doesn't like love the weightlifting, but he started to notice the results. Right? He's 15, so it's like he's got all those newbie gains in him. Right? He lifts for a week, and he's twice as strong as he was the week before. So it's like he started to notice that he was like stronger. He realized he was like starting to put on some muscle. He was stronger than all of his friends, and now he goes every day. And because he goes every day, he's studying more because that's a hard thing. He realized he can do it. His grades are coming up. His behavior's improved in school. Not that he was having major problems with any of those things, but like he went from being kind of like a lazy 15-year-old kid, which is I was a 15-year-old boy. You were a 15-year-old boy. I was super lazy when I was 15 as well. It's the natural state of teenage boys. Now he's working hard and he's doing better in school and his attitude has improved. And it's like for him, like lifting weights and getting stronger was a gateway drug to improving every aspect of his life. And like, if you can do it and I can do it and he can do it, anybody can do it. So just get your ass to the gym. Just start.
You know what's cool, man? I used to train some kids boxing when I first moved to this town out of my garage. And this mom, she brought over her kid who was in grade one, but he had all these learning and discipline issues. He was like no attention span, nothing. She was gonna go get him checked out and all this stuff. And I did 14 sessions with this kid. And I remember on the first one, because there's a 60-second break in between the rounds I do, and this kid would like run off in the corner and start playing with toys, blah blah. By the end of the last one, he had his arms back like this, just waiting. And he went from needs improvement to just about everything to exceeds in a year. I mean, I know it's only grade one, like what's but still, it was freaking cool, right? To see that discipline.
Mhm.
And I haven't talked to her in a while, but I check in with her once in a while, and he's still doing great just from those few little boxing sessions. It's
Yeah.
unreal.
It gives, especially for kids that are, struggling, when you give them the win, you give them the ability to win. And it's not like an everybody gets a trophy win. It's like you won because you did something hard. It is transformative. And it certainly was for me. And now it's just become part of my life, right? Like I try and do some form of exercise every single day, whether it's a power focused or a heavyweight focused day, whether it's like a light calisthenics day, whether it's an hour on the treadmill, because it keeps me sane and it keeps me grounded. And I know that like I've worked really hard to get into the shape that I'm in, and the minute I start slacking, there's nobody to pick up the slack. You either do it or you don't. So I make the call and I do it every day.
What's it like for you when you hear or read someone post online that they don't have time to work out? And you're a
It
dad of
is
10. You don't miss the
yeah,
pickups, the drop-offs.
it is the biggest cope to me. And I think it's a very common response, especially from people who've never really spent time in the gym before. Because if you see somebody who's like really jacked, like some of the fitness influencers, or some of the people in our community, if you look at, some of the guys who are pro or semi-pro bodybuilders who are just, they look like they've been carved out of marble.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like that, and if you've never lifted before, you go, I'm never going to lift like that. That guy must spend hours in the gym every single day. And then you start doing a little bit of research. You start meeting the people, and you go, oh, Ronnie Coleman won Mr. Olympia 8 times in a row, and he only worked out for an hour a day, right? It's like you don't have to make it. You can make it your goal identity, but you don't have to make it your goal identity. I think the other problem that you get from people is that, like, people think they have to go all the way in or not at all. Like you either have to jump into the deep end of the pool or not at all. I just had a conversation with, a friend who's a very senior executive in a big tech company. Um, and he was saying this. He was like, I don't really have the time to work out. I don't enjoy it. And like that, fine. Some people don't like exercise. Most people, once they get into it, they start to see the improvement. They start to like it. I was like, listen, man, here's what I want you to do. After each meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go walk for 15 minutes. That's it. Go take a 15-minute walk and see how you feel. Like that's all you have to do to get someone started. When people ask me, as somebody's like, you are a former fat guy, I'm a former fat guy, like, how do you do? I'm like, you start small, man. Like, you don't show up to the gym on the first day and throw 3 plates on the other side of the bar and start bench pressing, right? You do like, you bumble your way through like 10 push-ups, and then like the next week you do like 12 push-ups, and then all of a sudden you're doing 20 push-ups, and then you can move to like some dumbbells. And it's like, so I just like the idea that somebody would say, I don't have the time. I don't believe it. I think it's just like it's the easiest cop out just to say, well, I don't have the time, therefore it's impossible. So
Mm-hmm.
my advice to anybody would be, maybe spend a little less time on Twitter or Netflix or on your Xbox, right? Like think how much time you burn on that stuff. And two, like just start slow. There are any number of great programs out there that can, or if you can't, I mean, if you can get a trainer, great. If you can't afford it, like hell, I'll put together a workout plan for you that you can do every single day in your home that requires zero equipment. And you do that thing every other day. I guarantee in 30 days you're gonna go get yourself a gym membership because you're gonna be ready to go do it. So, it's like anything else, right? It's like if it's important to you, you make the time. And I would hate to see people only realize it's important when they have a major health scare, right? When they wake up in the hospital after the heart attack, or they trip down a flight of stairs because their balance isn't good, or they threw their back out lifting groceries into the car because like they don't know how to do it anymore. They can't play with their kids. I mean, that's a revelatory moment for a lot of people, but you can get in front of that stuff.
You know what's funny? I dropped a lot of weight and did a lot of boxing circuits, but as far as lifting weights and stuff, I was only ever using 10-pound dumbbells. It's what I had at home, my home gym, and I was comfortable doing that. But then the 3.5, excuse me, 3.5 months ago, me and my girlfriend, we rejoined the gym together. So every week I go up by 5. And now I'm going and I'm doing hammer curls with 30-pound dumbbells. I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty damn good. And then she was with 5s, and now she's doing 15 and 20s. Like every couple weeks we'll try and put it up a bit. And it's all self-doubt, right? Like it's just getting over that and saying, hey, shit, I can do anything.
And being okay with failure, right? I mean, like sometimes, like people talk a lot about should you train to failure, should you not train to failure, but I mean more from the mental spot, right? Like I was doing snatches today, right? Kettlebells where you start on the ground and you flip it up over your head, like the Olympic lift style stuff. And today I had a personal record. I hit 5 reps on both sides with a 90-pound kettlebell, so it's 44 kilograms. Most I've ever done, right? Like 5 clean reps. And then I was like, maybe I've got it in me. Maybe I can go up to like the 48 kilo, which is like what 103 pounds or something like that. There's one big one. And like I tried for like 20 minutes. I'd try a rep, I would fail. I'd try again in 5 minutes, I would fail. And I think it's very easy, whether you're trying to do something like that or you're just trying to like do 10 push-ups. You've never done 10 push-ups before. To just go, well, I'm never going to be able to do that. Right? Yeah, you will. Like I didn't get it this week. Maybe I'll get it next week. Maybe I'll get it in a month. Maybe I'll get it in 6 months. Like maybe I'll never get it. But like I'm gonna keep try and get a little bit stronger. I'm only 47. I hopefully got a lot of good years left. Like we'll see what happens. So I think that's like that kind of ties back to that first thing about like understanding that you can do hard things. Like part of that is failure. You try stuff, doesn't work. You learn a little bit, you improve your form, you get a little stronger, you try it again. And whether that's, in life or in work or on a jiu-jitsu mat or in the gym. That's a good lesson that people need to learn. That like failure, you know, one of my jiu-jitsu shihan, right? Because my jiu is actually Japanese jiu-jitsu, not Brazilian. Um, he's like, you either win or you learn, right? Like when you win, you don't really learn anything. You get on the mat, you just beat the crap out of some guy. You don't really learn. I mean, you can learn a little bit. You can learn in everything. When you lose, you get a chance to step back and go, all right, let's unpack it. Let's figure out what's going on. So the same thing goes when we're trying to do those heavy snatches. If you're trying to curl 40 pounds instead of 30 pounds, like, what can you do better? Could you keep your back straighter? Could you balance your weight better? Should you try it seated? Should you improve your form? Do you need longer times in between sets? You learn something. Next week you lift a little bit more. Maybe you get one extra rep, right? Like that is the beauty of fitness. It's like it's not the end of the road, right? It's like there's like a meme that goes around. I think it's from Invincible from the TV show, right? Where it's like, hey, I've been bodybuilding for a year. When does the body dysmorphia end? Right. And the dad's like, that's the cool thing about it. Like it never does. Like you always want to keep going. So, you know, you just got to keep going.
You know what's cool, man? I had a blind veteran on my show, completely blind, both of his eyes. And this dude, he competes in jiu-jitsu competitions with people that aren't blind, which kind of just blew my freaking mind because I guess they got to start one hand here and one stand like they can't. And then he competes. And I'm like, holy shit, like what am I complaining about because my leg is a little sore today, right? Like,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
but one of the biggest things
There,
I find, I read a lot of Twitter posts in the community and stuff, and just people that if someone's posting a video of them doing like some pull-ups, people always start their post with an apology, and I'm so sick of seeing that shit. Like, don't apologize for your form. Don't be like, hey, I know this sucks, but just be proud. If you can do two fucking push-ups. Who cares what people think? Post that shit. And it's getting that people are so afraid of what others think. But just be proud.
yeah. And just be proud and be comfortable with the fact that like you don't have to have imposter syndrome. Like, I heard this great line. I think it was Jocko Willink who said it because he's black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And he was like coming out of training and he said, what's the hardest belt to earn? He's like talking to a group of new students. And people were like, black belt, right? Black belt's super hard to get. He's like, no, it's the hardest belt to get is the white belt because you had the balls to show up
Mm.
at a class and learn something new where you knew you were going to get your head smashed, but you didn't care because you wanted to learn something. And that takes guts. So I'm with you. Like, I don't like when people apologize. I actually did this today. Like on one of my Discord servers that I'm like one of the kettlebell Discords, I like posted a video of my PR because like I felt good and I was like, I'm going to take a video of it for posterity. And I was like, those last two reps were pretty sloppy. And the guy who's my coach who builds the app that I use did exactly what you did. He's like, what the fuck are you complaining about? He's like, there are not that many people that can throw a 100-pound, 90-pound kettlebell over their head once. Most people can't even pick that thing up off the floor. Like, what are you complaining about? Yes, if we wanted to get really nitty gritty, we could argue about like your arm came a little bit out to the side. We could tighten it up and you could pull your elbow in. But he's like, what are you doing? Like, shut up. Like, you give me the same speech that you just gave, which was great because like I was a little bit embarrassed because I was like, well, what if people thought that I cheated? What if it didn't really count? There are people on that group that are stronger than me. It's a guy who does his snatches with a 100-pound kettlebell reps. Like he's a freaking tank. I'm like, I don't know. Like it's easy to get into that mindset, the I'm not good enough mindset. Um, and then you realize that, especially in the gym community, everybody wants you to win. That's the thing is that I learned is like, especially when I meet people who are like really out of shape or really overweight, and I'm like, I don't want to go to the gym because people make fun of me. I'm like, I guarantee, like one, most people aren't even going to notice that you're there. They're there to focus on themselves. And two, I guarantee if you went up to the biggest, most jacked guy or the girl with the bikini physique and said, hey, I'm new here. Can you give me a hand? 100% of those people would be like, I would love to.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just want you to win and they want you to stay. Like, I have this argument every year in like January when the gym fills up with new people and people are complaining, like, all the New Year's resolution people are here and the gym's full and all these people, they know what they're doing. Every year I say the same thing. I'm like, man, I hope every single one of them stay. I want them to stay. Like, I don't want them to show up and be uncomfortable and leave. I mean, it's something that I've started to do. And, I've been trying to do this more and more is I give unsolicited advice in the nicest, least intrusive way possible. Only when I see somebody doing something really wrong, like they might hurt themselves, but especially when they look unsure. Like my gym has a lot of older people, like 60 plus. I don't know why. There's a lot of older people there. And I'll see people kind of like wandering around. They're clearly new at the gym and they're just kind of like looking for something to do. And now I stop and I'm like, hey, like I'm Ben. I work out here all the time. What are you looking for? Like, are you looking for equipment? Do you just like, and most times those people will say, like, I've never been to the gym before. I don't know what to do. Great. You're working out with me. Like, I'll use the 90-pound kettlebell. You use the 5-pound kettlebell. And you could do it. And we'll do that. Or, I hurt my shoulder and I'm trying to figure out exercise to do. Like, I love helping people like that because I just want them to stay because I know how crappy it feels to be the fat guy where you
Hmm.
show up at the gym. There's a bunch of people with, competition level physiques, and you're like, man, this is not the right place for me. And then you meet those people and you realize it is the right place for you. So, you know, it's a great community. It's part of the reason that I continue to lift in gyms as opposed to working out my home gyms. I like being part of the community.
It's wild. I had a guy on my show here. He was in the like mid 400s. He had dropped 80 pounds.
Okay,
He was doing so
good
amazing.
for him. That's great.
But then he fell out the wagon and he put it all back on. So we have a little group, almost like a family chat for everyone that's about 15 and 20 of us that have all been big and lost some weight or struggling, whatever. But he posted in there and said, okay, dude, I'll tell you what. 6 months from now, when you get back under that 300-pound mark, we're going to do a podcast episode together. He's like, you're on. So he hit that goal, came back on with me, and now since he's been on, I think he's down to 260 now. He was like 480. But he went
Nice.
online and he posted publicly on Twitter, I messed up. I put all my weight back on, but I'm not gonna let me get that down and I'm never gonna fail again. And now he's kicking ass. So that's brave
That's
as
great.
and
Yeah. And I think people who haven't been big don't realize the struggle, right? It's like that, like I said, I'm 47, I'm in pretty good shape now, but like I still view myself as like the fat guy, like in my head,
mm,
and it's a hard struggle. And it's an easy thing to relapse on because like I love to eat. I love shitty food. Like I love it so much. Like fast food, donuts, like oh man, I love it. Um, so it's so easy to just be like, I had a bad week at work, or I was fighting with my spouse, there was a problem with the kids, or whatever. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go to McDonald's, I'm gonna go have a big meal. And like if you lapse, it's not that big of a deal. If you do it every day and you relapse, then it is a big deal. That's where that community starts to come in and go, hey man, are you doing okay?
hmm.
Like to make sure that this is like fine. You fell off the wagon for three. I mean, I've never had a problem with alcohol. That's not something a struggle I've ever had to deal with, or drugs. But I imagine it's the same type of thing. The reason people stick with Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous isn't just because they got sober, because they have a community of people around them that will help keep them sober and people they can confide in. So if they're having a hard time, they don't slip back into that. The challenge, of course, you got with food, if you were big like you or like me, is that like you can live your whole life without drinking alcohol. You can live your whole life without taking drugs. You have to eat. Food is everywhere. So, you're in this constant state of temptation. I'm not saying that it's harder or not as hard as those other ones, but it's like you need a community of people that you can lean on and be like, I'm having a hard time. Like yesterday, I ate 4,000 calories worth of McDonald's. Like I need you guys to like help keep me accountable. Like make sure that I'm meal tracking every day. Make sure that I'm exercising, so that I can just be like a blip on the radar, as opposed to just you snap back to the way that you were living.
Beautiful. Um, you do a lot of gaming. What's your go-to game to
I
escape?
don't do a lot of gaming anymore. I
No.
love so I mean one of the things from like being at Microsoft is like I'm an Xbox guy. I have been for a long, long time. Um, I don't have a ton of time to play video games because, like I said earlier, I would rather spend that hour at the gym than an
Mhm.
hour sitting on the couch playing. Well, maybe I wouldn't, I don't want to, but I do. I spend the time doing other things. Um, let's see, what am I playing right now? So I'll play a lot of um, I'll play a lot of Fortnite with my kids because the games are short, especially if you play Blitz. I love Fortnite Blitz because the rounds are 5 minutes long. So even if I'm like, it's the end of the night and I'm ready to go to bed, but I just want to like zone out for 30 minutes, I can jump in, play for a little bit, and get out. My son is really trying to get me into Marvel Rivals. He loves Marvel Rivals. He's like a world class Marvel Rivals player. So I don't really like playing with him because I show up, I just get my ass stomped in every single time. I just started playing Mouse. You played that on the black and white cartoon game. It's like a
No,
first person shooter. Do you know Cuphead? You ever play Cuphead?
I can't play any first person. For some reason, those games make me dizzy. Like I'm riding in the car for
So
12
Cuphead
hours.
was a side scroller platformer,
Oh,
and the
okay.
whole premise of it was drawn and illustrated like a cartoon from the 1930s.
Hmm.
So every cell was hand drawn, like beautiful watercolor backgrounds. Somebody did one that's kind of like that looks like an old Looney Tunes cartoon, but it's all in black and white, and it's like a film noir first person shooter. And it finally came out on Xbox. So I'm working my way through that one. The other one that I've downloaded but I haven't started yet is Crimson Desert. I love open world games. Like
Well,
I loved GTA 5, I loved Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm using Crimson Desert as a warm up for GTA 6 when it comes out in the fall. What are you playing these
see, I
days?
do mostly sports, but I'm big in like I like the Assassin's Creed games, the open world.
Yeah.
Um, Valhalla, I love because my ancestors are part Viking, so I kind of
Okay.
felt like I was playing with my ancestors there. It was
Sure.
got right
Yeah,
into
yeah.
that. But
Valhalla's the last one I played
yeah.
from the Assassin's Creed franchise, and that was a good one. The story was fun.
Now we also we were technically coworkers for about 4 weeks there.
Yeah, that's what you said. What's
I
the
also had a
story
stint
there?
with Microsoft for 4 weeks. They did this giant wall painting of the MSN butterfly, and we had to stick our heads through it. And we all had to say it's better with the butterfly, and then they take a picture of us, and it lasted for 4 weeks. And then they had this big AC/DC and Rolling Stones concert back when the SARS was going on, and me and my buddy won tickets. And my boss was like, anyone that goes to that concert, don't come back. And that was the end of my stint at
Oh, and you
Microsoft.
got to see the Stones and AC/DC.
Yes,
So
in front
maybe
of
it was worth it. Was that
560,000 people.
the where were you at the office in Mississauga?
Yes, yeah, it was in
Okay.
Mississauga.
So my stint, so like I was there for 15 years, but like one of the things that I did when we launched Windows 10, this was like what, 2016, all of the senior leaders from the retail, our leader decided that everybody needed to adopt a country, like one of our top like 20 markets, adopt a country to make sure the Windows 10 launch went super well. Like we were selling the right PCs and the stores were dialed. And I got Canada. So I spent so much time at that office in Mississauga. Like I was out there so much. Like I can drive around Mississauga without a map. Like I got so good if I like I spent so much time there. And the first time I went, I hadn't been to like that Toronto area in a long time. I'd never been out to Mississauga. So the team was like, "Oh, come to Toronto. It's gonna be great." And I got to the hotel, which was like that Sheraton that's like across the highway from the Mississauga office. And my wife, and it's like I'm looking out the window of my hotel room. And, it's like Mississauga, right? It's like dead flat, and the only thing I can see is there's a Samsung factory on the left and like a Baxter pharmaceutical plant on the right, and the rest of it's just like farmland. And my wife's like, "How's Toronto?" And I'm like, "I can't even see Toronto. Like, I don't know where the hell I am. I'm out in the middle of nowhere." So yeah, I spent a lot of time. Now there's a brand new office. They down on the water, like in downtown Toronto. They like
Oh,
built a
okay.
fancy new,
Nice.
yeah, fancy new building. I never got to go to that. I got to go to the crappy one out in Mississauga.
Yeah. That's funny. I remember when they had the big blackout in Toronto for like 6 days. I had just gotten out of the elevator at that building, literally 3 seconds before the whole province went blackout. So that was my extent with Microsoft. But if anyone's watching us, if anyone's watching this and they're thinking about going to a gym or they're struggling with their weight or just afraid to open that door, what's your message to them?
I think it's like anything else, man. Like if you're scared, like we talked about some of that stuff. I think the biggest thing is like you can do harder things than you think you can. Fear is a very powerful emotion, and everybody's life circumstance is different. But if you've been told, especially if you're big, like and you were big and I was big, like you kind of go through life with this kind of like weird worldview where like you don't want to get in people's way, and, people are looking at you, and you think that that's going to be exacerbated at the gym. The best advice I can give you is like there is no excuse not to start. If you don't want to go to the gym, you can work out at home. You can go walk around your neighborhood. And once you start doing that, like go for a walk for 20 minutes and do 10 push-ups a day. This is what I tell people. We've got a buddy who's a video game journalist. He's also similar to a big guy, like lost some weight, but he's still a pretty big dude. And he's like, what should I do? He's like, I don't want to go to the gym. He's like, I'm scared to go to the gym. I was like, great. Here's what you're going to do. Every day, you're going to walk for an hour or half an hour. I think we started with half an hour. Go walk for half an hour. And every day, I want you to do 10 air squats and I want you to do 10 push ups until that's easy. And then when that's easy, you're going to do 12 air squats and 12 push ups. And then you're going to go do 14. When you get to set to 20, you're going to have a second set to 20. And all of a sudden, 3 months later, turning around, he's like, I'm doing sets of 20 push-ups. I'm doing sets of 20 air squats. Like it doesn't, my knees don't hurt as much when I go up and down the stairs. It's like my best advice is like, you can do harder things than you think. You just have to get started. And you start slow and you start smart. I recommend that you go to a gym because you're going to meet people there that are going to help you. They're going to want to help you because I guarantee most of the people in the gym, very few people who started out in the gym, started out with like a Jay Cutler physique when he won Mr. Olympia, or started out with like a Victoria's Secret model body. That stuff happens, but it's rare. Everybody worked to get there, so they know what it's like to be a beginner. So jump in and just don't, and don't have imposter syndrome. Realize that you don't know anything. Do your research. Ask for help when you need it, and just start going consistently. If you can just get into the habit of moving every single day, you're gonna get meaningfully healthy. I just saw a thing in the wall in the gym today that said people who do 150 minutes of exercise a week, 150 minutes, that's 20 minutes a day, 22 minutes a day. It's nothing. Drop all cause mortality by over 30%.
Wow.
That's huge. Like, do you want to spend more time with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your husband, with your boyfriend, with your kids, with your parents? Like, sure you do. So, it just takes a little bit of work, a little bit of incremental work every single day. So just go get started. You will not, nobody has ever regretted going to the gym. I mean, I've hurt myself sometimes in those particular workouts I've regretted, but at the macro level, I've never regretted going to the gym. I've never regretted it, not one time.
Beautiful. Well, man, I got one more question for you, and then we'll call this an
Yeah,
episode. This is thanks for coming on with me. Thanks for sharing that wisdom there. And
yeah, you bet.
if people want to find you, I'll put your link down bottom there. If people are on X,
Awesome.
and
Thank you. Appreciate it.
give you a follow. Oh my goodness, sorry. I end all my episodes with this stupid question, but a 100-meter pigeon carrying contest. How many pigeons could you fit in your arms and still have left at the end of the 100-meter race?
Can I ask a qualifying question?
Sure.
Are the pigeons, are their wings untethered or are they like wrapped up like baseballs?
They're wrapped up. They're tame pigeons.
Tame pigeons.
Tamed pigeons.
I'm going to go 20, 20 pigeons.
20? Okay.
I
That'll
don't, I don't know if there's a right answer. If you're gonna be like, oh, the last guy said 60. I'm gonna
no,
say
no,
20.
that'll place you in like the top five.
Okay.
Like
Right? Because like one,
my
two, three,
highest
four,
was a
five, six. I
Charlie
think I could
Sheen
do
lookalike
two
that had
rows of
250.
I think I could do 2 rows of 8 and then maybe 4 if I kind of like hunched over and kind of like did the waddle. I think. I'm gonna say 20. I actually don't know how
Beautiful.
big a pigeon is, so I might be underestimating or overestimating. But they're like, they're like what? They're about like this big. Mostly, they're kind of round.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If they're docile pigeons, I'm going to say 20. 20
Beautiful,
pigeons.
beautiful. That'll put you in like the top five, I think. Top five or six for sure, out of
Nice.
101 something episodes.
Love
But
it.
yeah, thanks for coming on with me, everyone watching. Just go say one nice thing to one person every day of the year. If it's someone online talking about recovery, weight loss, they've got a song, it doesn't matter. Tell someone they have a nice shirt, anything. Just say one nice thing to one person every day. It can change someone's life.
Good deal. Thanks, man. See you.